What's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Gen X Army Vet here. And this video comes from TikTok, and it's about a single mom. I guess she's about to talk about the single mom epidemic that's going on in 2025. She's an older woman, probably around my age, because I'm 47. She's got a couple of gray hair, so she's around my age. So I'm gonna just give her that. But yeah, she's talking about the single mom epidemic, and how I guess men aren't stepping up to help these single women out. So yeah, before we get into it, make sure you like the video, share the video, click the notification bell, comment on the video, because I like to hear what you have to think or what you think about the video. How am I doing as far as like a new content creator trying to do this whole YouTube thing? I'm retired, so seeing where it goes. And on a side note, if I start stumbling through my words, it's because I'm trying to adjust to wearing these glasses more, because I'm old as fuck now. And my left eye, I can see close up, not too far out. My right eye, I can see far out, but not too close up. And this is my shooting eye. So anything beyond the length of my hand when I'm holding a pistol, it's kind of weird looking, but I'm trying to get adjusted. So yeah, without further ado, let's see where it goes.
Such a struggle right now for the single mother. One, society does not support single motherhood. There used to be this thing like, oh, you're a single mother, let us help you. Nobody cares anymore. But the biggest thing that people don't talk about is fewer and fewer men are willing to be stepdads.
I'm saying that's largely due just because the way these single women, these single mothers are treating these possible stepdads these days, because they're thinking that they can get more out of these guys than before. They require more from a stepdad or a man who step up and take care of the kid, even if they don't have children of their own. They require more for them than they did their own person who donated, who dropped off the load inside them to make them a single mother in the first place. So Pookie can hit it no problem, but the upstanding guy, the guy, clean record, background, has something going for himself, he has to pay more out of pocket, financially, mentally, physically, do more for this woman. And for her to take him, she thinks that that's her level. Anything beneath that isn't her level, when her level actually was the Pookie that she laid down with. Granted, I understand that there are some women out there who were married and got divorced, because that's a lot of situations. Also, there are some who passed away, maybe because of the Pookie lifestyle that they were doing, got shot, deleted, or in the military, something happened medically, physically. So yeah, I understand there are those, but a lot of these women these days are running around, especially these modern women, the younger women, no protection, never been married, they just run around just popping out babies left and right. So yeah, back in the day, the 90s, moving further back, 80s, 70s, it was looked differently, because there was a shotgun wedding. Oh, you got my daughter pregnant? Shotgun wedding. We're going to make your ass, we're going to walk you to the aisle, to the altar. The whole town will walk you to the altar to make you marry that woman if you got her pregnant and you weren't married. But these days, it's looked as a badge of honor. Girl, you got a baby coming? Girl, you better get that bag. Girl, you better go get your food stamps, blah, 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 blah. That's how it is these days.
One of the biggest family secrets has always been that oldest child does not belong to him.
Facts. The oldest child, if somebody hooks up with a woman, she's pregnant, they have a baby, they're not married, 9 times out of 10, that's not even his baby. Which is why, fellas, if she says she's pregnant, stick with her until the pregnancy. Take it as such. Get that DNA test. Gonna find out it's not yours, you better skedaddle. Because you about to get hemmed up like Kanye. 18 years. Gonna find out it wasn't his. Better watch out. Protect yourselves.
That oldest child does not belong to him. Everybody knows it but the oldest child. And there are fewer and fewer men that are willing to sign up for it. And I do believe it's because of child support laws. And it just takes a lot of money.
Especially in Texas, because I know firsthand, child support laws in Texas are crazy. Trust me. So if something happens, like I say, get that DNA test. If it's yours, step up, do the right thing. Gentlemen, that's your kid. Do the right thing. If not, you better run for the hills. You better run for the hills. They may shame you. Oh, you ain't a real man because you ain't going to take care of my mistake that I did with the Pookie or the Ray Ray or the Kevins or the Don Juans. You better run for the hills. Also, this lady, I've seen her in another video. I think it was through the other channel, A Different Perspective, back in the day. So yeah, she's a single mother, and she was talking all this noise about how she can pull people, and apparently she still ain't got nobody because of that mentality.
So please understand that if you become a single mother, you're probably going to most likely raise that child by yourself for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And the men who create single mothers, they hate their single mother mom. So they really don't give a damn about you. They low-key hate her ass. So
that's not always true. I don't understand where she came up with that theory, but I don't think that's true.
They're going to hate you too. The moment you look like, act like, and start talking like her. I keep posting these videos because I hope that I save at least one young lady. Do not have a baby with a man until you have been married to him for at least 2 years.
I could see that's the thing. Yeah, that's what you should do. Marry before you carry. I know Anton Daniels say that all the time. Marry before you carry. He also says don't finish another man's unsaved game or saved game, meaning you don't go start playing God of War halfway through. You know, pick up where somebody left off at. You know, because you're not gonna know what the fuck's going on, how things are. So it's best to start your own game if you don't have any children, or if you do have children, you know, come to that understanding. Like my case, my children are grown, so that's not an issue for whoever I'm with. I got a fiance right now, but you know, it's not an issue. My sons are grown. You know, they come interact with us, do their thing, they move on about their business. No issues whatsoever. But the ones that with younger children, especially men, if you're going to take on this burden, I say burden because it technically is, because you got to think about when you hook up with a single mother, say she has one kid, that's at least a 2-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom house you have to have. You know, if she has more children, you got to account for that. And if she doesn't have a job, a well-paying job, you're going to bear the brunt of making, paying the bills. So you got to be ready for that. So, a lot of guys don't want to do that, hit it and quit it. To each their own, do what you got to do, but don't get her pregnant because you're going to be, tied to her for that 18 to 22 years.
At least 2 years. Because once you become a baby mama, you will probably most likely die a baby mama in today's society. That's
true. Because a lot of these women, like I said, they think they can do the same thing they were doing in their 20s. I think they do it in their 30s and 40s when they can't. Because there's always someone younger, someone hotter, someone without children that a man can go to. So your women always say that they're the prize, but are they really? It's the men that's the prize. Like, again, our children, 9 times out of 10, the court's not going to let us have our children. Like I said, in my case, my children are grown. So that's not an issue. Retire, do whatever the hell I want, whenever the hell I want. If you're coming into a relationship with me, you have children, I don't have to select you. I can move on to somebody else without children or with grown children where that won't be an issue at our place. But all these women, especially these younger women, modern women, they could, you got to do this because I say so, because this is what I got in the past. A lot of men are noticing this and stepping away from it. They're wise about this right now. They're like, no, hell no. I can move on to somebody else. So a lot of women have this to look forward to unless they change their mentality. Because the one who got you pregnant, that is your level. So you thinking you can get these 6-figure men or men with more means because, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my standards have been raised. I have higher standards now. No, you can't, because you no longer have any bargaining chips to bring to the table compared to that single man with no children. So think about it.
These men are not for it anymore. They're not. They're not.
Well, that's pretty much where the video ends, but let's see what these comments got to say. My wallet, my choice. Exactly. Stepdads to women in 2025 is a different type of woman. Yep. Like I said, back during my mother's era, the women, the boomers era, it was more noble for a man to come in because, you know, the wars and stuff going on. It was different times back then. Now, like, they feel obligated to do all this stuff. It's not the loss, it's the headache. And a lot of these single moms are not worth it. What is the return of the investment besides nothing? You know exactly, because you got to deal with the you ain't my daddy, you ain't my daddy. And when it's time to discipline that kid, the kid's gonna be like, or the mother's gonna be like, oh, it's not your responsibility. They step in when they want to step in. Any other time, it's pay us money, pay us money. But when it comes that time to you have to put your foot down because they're doing something stupid. Yeah, he got a father for that. He got a father for this, that, and the other. Yeah. And my response is, okay, we'll go be with him then. Tell his daddy to come out here and come take his kid, you know, because you don't have to deal with that. A man in his 20s is better off buying an expensive sports car than having kids. Yep. I went through my sports car era. I had 6 different, muscle car era, 6 different Mustangs, done all kind of crazy stuff. So, yep. It's the baby mama drama epidemic that's numbed society. I have no problem with single moms if they are doing a hard job. But I hope more women decide not to have children for their own peace of mind. Exactly. Especially where the job market is, the economy, housing market. Way too many burdens to be also bringing in a kid and then expect some man out of left field to come in to take care of your kid, especially if he doesn't have any. As soon as she tells me she has a child, I'm no longer interested. But also these days, they're hiding it until they get you to fall in love with them. I think you could be months down the road, and then all of a sudden they spring on like the one video I did. I have 4 kids. You'd be like, what? And they expect you to stay with them just because you got to know them. You had good times. Not anymore. Men are wising up. That's pretty much how the video goes, how the comments saying the same thing over again. This is unfortunate for the women that had to leave abusive men. I believe there are men that would want a family with an honest single mother. Yes, again, I don't have any issues with that. Especially if men can't have children. You got his vasectomy. Everything's good to go. He's older. Take on the kid, okay, but as long as he's not super young, because you got to think about a kid that's, infant till say 3, 4, 5. That's still a pain in the ass because it's going to limit to you what you can do, where you can go, the type of actions or interactions you can have. If they're older, like my children are, like I said, not an issue. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd like to know how you feel about it. Like I said again, like, share, subscribe to the notification bell, and I'll catch you next video. Peace.